Hey everybody, this is Dale.
And this is Eric.
And welcome to the Transformers Beast Wars podcast.
That you can find at OptimusPrimecast.com.
This week, episode number 25!
It's other voices.
Part 1, written by Larry DiTilio and Bob Forward.
And directed by Colin Davies.
This week, I didn't look up the, list of things we're supposed to do before I start the show. This week, Optimus, Rat Trap, and Air Razor discover an alien structure. Meanwhile, Black Arachnia discovers Tarantulas' escape plans and forces him to let her tag along.
I honestly do not have an alternate title for this one. I was so sucked into it.
It was good, wasn't it?
Oh my god. It was good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Yeah, you see when it stops being a kid's show, or when it stops being a
well,
sitcom?
Well...
Okay, it's still a kid's show, but it's not sitcom-y, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Megatron is mysterious. No alternate title this week?
No alternate title this week. I'm so sorry. Oh, maybe... no. Well, I already used that one. This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
So we open up with...
The Axalon's sexy computer warning Rhinox, who then starts to speak gibberish.
Yeah. Basically going, there's a energy signature detected or whatever, and he's like, okay, cross-reference it with blah 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 techno babble.
Yeah, he starts speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
Display coordinates and cross-reference energy signature with data tracks Tau 7.
So they do, and they find out it's the same time same. It's in 6-8.
Yeah.
It's in 7. They found the same energy signature as they did over
when they run into all the alien stuff.
Yeah.
That isn't anybody's responsibility.
The Stonehenge.
Yeah, the henge and the island and the corn nut.
Yeah.
And the obelisk.
Well, the obelisk is something. Well, the obelisk was the same as the island. They didn't really have access to the
there was
obelisk.
one on the moon.
There was, but they didn't have access to that. They wouldn't be able to.
Okay, fine. But one can only assume.
But basically, they're like, okay, and then Prime all of a sudden starts to get worried about his deposit. He's like, oh gosh, here comes the landlord.
Yep.
I hope he doesn't find out I violated the no pets clause in this lease
seriously.
here.
So he sends Air Razor and Rat Trap to go ahead. Well, Rat Trap has to go get Air Razor.
Yeah, go get Air Razor.
Go get Air Razor, and you guys go scope this out. You secure the perimeter, and then I'll meet you there?
Yeah, I'll meet you there.
Because I have other things to do. What did he have to do?
I don't know.
That he couldn't just go with? Grab Rat Trap by the scruff, Prime Jet's on, and then he would have been there.
Yeah.
We could have avoided some things.
Absolutely. We could have all been done. We could have gone home. Everything would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rhinox crushes us with his finger.
Yeah.
What's the camera choice? To fade to black, whatever. But yeah, so then we then cut over to the Darksyde,
where Tarantulas wants out.
He's looking. He's like, yes, okay, it's showing up. I gotta look. When's the next pod coming? Damn it!
Yeah, pretty much. The computer calculates the next escape pod or stasis pod drop is not anytime soon.
Yeah, and he wants to get out of here.
One can only assume it translates to a month.
Yeah, it's like 30 megacycles or something. And then once again, as usual, he's interrupted by Black Arachnia. Damn it, whoop it up working! minimize. What do you want?
Doing very important work. And she offers to help, right?
Yeah.
She's threatening him first. Because he doesn't want anything to do with it. Why did he create her?
I don't know. I have no idea. And why would he want to create yet another
one, just to exclude? He creates women to shun.
I don't... It's his power play. That's how I make myself feel important.
Yeah. This is where I get my feels.
I express value of myself by putting down others.
But she offers to help him get get a stasis pod from the Maximals.
Yeah, she starts sweet talking to him. He's like, "Hey, legs, how you doing? What's going on? Have you ever thought of going over to the Maximal side? They have undamaged stasis pods, and
we can't get into there."
Are you crazy, woman?
But she offers to help. She says that she can get him in, and he's like, "Okay, fine." And then, they're still negotiating terms when we pull out of Megatron's.
We get
security camera.
Volume 2 of Megatron Likes to Watch.
Yeah.
yes.
But one thing I got to say about this episode, it's like, oh yeah, this is Bob Ford, so we have to fit in the quota of fake swear words.
Yeah.
Like already, like not even 5 minutes into the episode, there's been like slagging this, and what was another one that?
Rat Trap says we're gonna get vaped.
That's a little later. I'm like, wow, okay, cool. You're switching to vape. That's cool. You know, I vape. You know,
It's healthier.
I'm vaping. Yeah, it's kind of cool. We're gonna blow some massive clouds, man. Clouds for days, bro.
Clouds for days,
Clouds
bro.
for days, bro. But yeah, so they get to this area, and it looks like
They don't get there yet. First, Megatron is sending Waspinator ahead because so Megatron knows, and then he turns and says he gets Waspinator out of the tank. So Waspinator's coming up out of the R chamber
because he got blown up.
Yeah,
previous
because
episode.
he just got blown up. And the thing is that this episode knows that it's part 2 of last week's episode.
Yes.
This knows that Before the Storm is Other Voices Part 1.
Well, also because it also gave the leader in the front of the episode.
Yeah, the very first. Yeah,
time on
last time on
that's what
Beast
they
Wars.
usually do when they try to tie in episodes.
Mhm.
It's nothing.
Well, yeah,
It's
but
kind of a normal.
Well, yeah, but it's not
movie
titled
trope.
like it. It's
a
not.
movie
It's not.
trope, dude. It's a movie trope. Anyway,
But this is where Waspinator does put in his first swear word.
yeah, he does.
Yeah, Waspinator.
Waspinator always gets slag assignments.
and then who does he say? He says he's gonna tear. What was it?
Waspinator finds Spider-Bot and tear him a new waste disposal unit.
Disposal
Okay,
unit.
waste disposal unit. It's like, oh god. Oh, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
So
gonna give Tarantulas a new output.
Megatron sends him away. He knows that the spiders are up to something, so he also kind of has a sidebar with Inferno. And then we cut to Eraser.
Yeah, he has a plan. Megatron has a big plan, and we don't know what.
Man, like, I mean,
it
this is kind of I have a hard time believing like how
smart Megatron is.
how in depth, how detailed he is about everything, how meticulous he's being about this plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's not like fake destruction.
Yeah,
hide in a hole. Profit. It's not,
Yeah, there seems like there's an actual middle to this plan.
Well, not only that, but there's like different layers too, because
Yeah.
he's accounted for like the spiders, because he's like, oh, the expected double cross or whatever, or from the spiders, and he's like, okay, well, I got that covered, and then when they all go out to go visit thing that we're about to talk about, like he's like, okay, well, there's another hand that needs to be dealt now, and he refers to
that he's lining up.
Yeah, the job that Inferno was doing.
Yeah.
So we cut back. We have Airazor and Rat Trap flying in. Rat Trap talks about how much he loves vaping.
Yeah.
Ooh, lucky us. Now we can be the first to get vaped.
Do you ever think positively?
They land down in an area that reminded me of like the Dark Crystal, the crystal chamber.
Yeah.
And
a
then
big circular structure, a lot of the standing stones that are all kind of facing
pointed and curled in towards the middle, and in the middle there's this glowing blue like
the dark
orb.
crystal itself.
Well, the Dark Crystal was a crystal. This is like
I
a
know.
blue orb with like lightning effects kind of going around. It reminded me of the pod from Starman. That's
I
an
don't
old
remember it.
movie,
Okay,
Jeff
yeah.
Bridges, way
Don't
back
know
when in
that
the
one.
70s or whatever. But yeah, it was just weird. So there's this blue thing in the middle, and this like circular structure, and they're like, well, what is
it's like
this?
a big crop circle, like a perfectly like circular crop circle thing cut in stone or sand.
Yeah.
or something. It's like
Intricate patterns all over it and everything.
It's super pretty.
Oh yeah,
It
it's
was
really
pretty.
cool. And then Rat Trap's like, "Whoa, what is this?" In the middle, it's a what? This is a stable crystal? No,
Yeah.
this can't be.
And Airazor decides that, well, if it's stable, then I can scan it.
Absolutely.
So she maximizes and then promptly gets it.
and and this kind of falls under Optimus Prime. Can you do anything right?
Yeah, poor Airazor.
Yeah, this is not a good episode for her,
No,
man.
she doesn't.
At all.
She doesn't make it out unscathed.
Yeah, so she gets shocked a bunch. She gets thrown back. And then
yeah,
Rat
she
Trap.
gets shocked, and then Rat Trap. What does he do?
No, well, the stone, after she gets shocked, goes and submerges into the floor, or recesses into the floor a bit, and then it starts powering up the structure. And then this big, huge energy wave hits and then throws Rat Trap out. He hits a wall. I guess they got a little
It's
bit...
a sandbar.
It's a sandbar?
Yeah, they're totally in the desert.
Do they have like pina coladas and stuff, or
They could.
you got some limes, coconuts?
They
Then you drink it all,
Put it all together.
and then you call the doctor
Woke him up.
because you got a bellyache.
Bellyache. He has to have a bellyache after getting tossed into that. You like how I did that? I like that.
I like that. That was smooth.
Segues are weird. So,
But he got thrown into the sandbar, and I realized that like they must have gotten their budget and approved early.
it was a payday, man.
Because they have this like awesome like deformation effect, like
Yeah.
in the cliff face, like where he hit, he deformed, like he made an impression, and then when he fell, he like smeared out the back end.
He
of it.
smeared downward, and the sand kept
Yeah,
pouring
it
down
was really
after him.
cool. It was like,
really pretty. Yeah.
oh, neat. All right.
I liked that. Yeah, they didn't like flatten him like a pancake.
Yeah,
Or like, like a pterosaur scene.
Yeah,
or something
and
like
it wasn't
that.
just it wasn't silly or anything.
And it
else
wasn't
like
meant
that.
to disable him. It was just meant to knock him out of the way.
Yeah.
It was the type of thing where we need him for the rest of the episode.
So after that, the big green mushroom appears.
Yeah, the thing like generates this big old Rat Trap calls it a nutty alien bungalow.
Hey, don't knock bungalows, man.
I know, hey man, but it's a nutty alien one. Chicago bungalows are fine. And then Waspinator shows up.
Yeah, Waspinator shows up.
Because he's there to secure the area. This is his slag mission.
Yeah, and Rat Trap's like, what? Well, we have a ceasefire. He's like, I'm not gonna shoot ya.
Yep, and then before we get to that,
oh yeah, Air Razor's inside. We cut
we
the
have
Air
some
Razor.
R-rated voice acting going on in there. Air Razor is in a lot of pain, but it doesn't. But man, we both blushed a little bit during this part.
Yes.
There's 5 minutes of Air Razor moaning and making other noises that, like, okay, if you're in pain, those aren't.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
Yeah, she sounds like she's in pain immediately afterwards.
Yeah, like what was that session like in the voice acting booth? Did they just like
Lots of guys giggling in Canada that day. All of Canada rejoiced.
Oh gosh.
But Air Razor is trapped inside, and she's lifted up, and she's being tortured. She's like in like it looks she's like got like Sith lightning coming at her.
Before that, she gets up and she's moaning, and then Air Razor once again reinforces that talking isn't her strong suit. She's just like not. I don't want to sound misogynistic or anything else, but Air Razor just needs to be seen and not heard sometimes. Because, like, I mean, I think she's a great character and everything else, but like she needs to take some like vocal coaching or speaking classes.
Oh, is it the delivery that bothered you?
Well, no, it's not the voice acting.
Okay,
it's her character.
Yeah,
because like when she met Inferno, she had problems talking. Hi, nice flight mode there, as Cheetor would say.
Ultra gear.
It's like, stop trying to be cool. Just when you try, it just ruins it.
Oh,
just
that's
be
right.
Cool.
She was all like, "We come in peace," wasn't she?
Yeah, we come in peace, and why don't you tell us what's going on? Like,
I mean you no harm.
guess they didn't like him.
Yeah,
didn't like her.
Like, yeah, we're not talking to you.
And
maybe they didn't say who the aliens are yet.
No, they haven't. But
I keep trying to use the word, and I keep going. I'm not gonna say it this episode. I won't say it.
What I found funny is
it's
that
only barely a spoiler. But whatever.
there are some voices that come out like responding to her before
Oh,
they
those
start
are creepy
electrocuting.
voices.
They sound like Klingons.
Yeah. They're speaking some kind of alien gibberish. It does kind of sound like Klingon, like it's like chunky and like crunchy, guttural voices.
So it's like I wrote down in my notes like Klingons don't like Air Razor. She has no tact.
Yeah.
And then we cut to
Then we cut outside to the Rat Trap Waspinator fist fight.
where we see Rat Trap Booty.
Yeah, Rat Trap Booty. Yeah.
It's really
It's really pronounced.
Gosh.
I'm sorry, that thing
It
is too
is.
shiny. It's too shiny.
It's a chrome buttocks, everyone.
It draws attention to itself.
Oh, it's so funny.
But this fist fight, because they are going to preserve the ceasefire.
Yeah, they're just gonna duke it out, basically.
Yeah, they're just gonna duke it out. It culminates in Robo Noogie.
Robo Noogie!
Before that, I wrote down on my notes, Waspinator has nards.
What?
Well, because Rat Trap kicks him in the crotch.
Oh, he kicks
And
him
he
in.
like
Oh, okay.
groans and stuff, and like the only thing that kept on popping to my head is like on Monster Squad or Wolfman is there. It's like kick him in the nards, kick him in the nards, and he's like Wolfman doesn't have any nards. He's like just do it. And I did. And I'm like, oh my god, Wolfman has nards. It's like what? Oh. This is a kid's show, everybody.
It's a kid's show. Everybody lighten up. But it is getting more serious. It is interesting to me that the humor is a little bit more adult, and even the sensibility of the show in general, especially with this episode, is like seriously pretty darn serious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just really interesting. Like the way that Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, moving on. All right. Well,
So the fight goes on a little bit, and then after the Robo Noogie, Waspinator decides to bug out.
He retreats.
leaves.
He's like, I've secured
It's
this.
secure enough.
Yeah, this area has been secured.
And then Prime shows up.
Yeah, Primal.
Oh, sorry,
Primal. We are never gonna get that right.
No, I'm not.
Just gotta call him Optimus from now on. Then we're okay.
Optimus is so hard to say.
It really is. I know
It's
it takes
so
up
much
too much
more
time.
exertion to say Optimus than it's at Prime. Primal.
For short. Let's start calling him Al.
Al. Yo, Al.
So Primal shows up, and then he tells Rat Trap that we got to get into this thing because Rat Trap's like, hey, Air Razor's stuck in there. We got to get in there. And Optimus is like, well, okay, you need to pull out a laser.
Well, and then Prime is so like overly critical over everyone.
I swear I can't take you anywhere.
It's like, dude, really?
Like,
What would have happened to anyone
you know
that was
what?
here?
Yeah. You know, this is like those times where you like bust your kids fighting. You know, but it's like
not.
and you punish the wrong kid for retaliating.
No, it's
And
not
you're like,
even
Stop
that.
bullying your
It's
sister.
not even
like, But
that.
she hit me with a chair, Dad.
It's not even that. It's not even that. What this is your dad or your mom saying, hey, do laundry. And you go to do laundry and there's no laundry detergent. And they're like, can't you do anything right? And it's
Okay, yeah.
Or you do
Oh,
laundry
come on.
and the actual like unit breaks. The
Yeah.
washing machine breaks.
Yeah, nothing you could have done.
No,
Yeah, everybody pretty much handled themselves the way that they needed to.
Or
Optimus,
no,
you're gonna have to
no,
chill out.
no. Here, you go to do laundry.
Uh-huh.
You have detergent. The washing machine starts to work, but then ComEd cuts the power because they're going to be doing line work,
Yeah,
and it's your fault.
yeah, and it's your fault. Yeah, man.
But yeah, he's such a jerk.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe he needs some karmic retribution.
But yeah, so they, as you were saying, they try to cut their way in, and it's not working. And then Megatron shows up.
Not before we get to see Air Razor being tortured by Sith lightning.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That was right.
Straight up, man. Sith lightning until she goes to beast mode.
Yeah, which
yeah, she should have done that earlier.
yeah.
Again, can't you do anything right, Air Razor?
It makes you wonder though, like like everything that we were saying before. I was saying before.
Yeah.
Of the technology, maybe it is advanced, but it's made in a way that it would be able to like endure like the environment or whatever. Maybe it's so advanced that it's able to use rocks and all of these biological things in order to be technologically something whatever.
Science.
Yes. So like I mean it would kind of make sense that it would react, their stuff would react to like their bot forms versus their beast forms, because their beast forms are supposedly biological or something.
Well, apparently they are. Apparently something about... It seems to me like their core consciousness is active but running through the biological components that are in them. Like it's like a shared, I don't know, some kind, like it seems like there's just a core that is like spiritual, like the spark itself is like some kind of a spiritual thing that is interacting with the robot form and the beast mode differently. I mean, otherwise they would get energon poisoning from being in beast mode. There has to be some sort of safeguard, which just turns them just more biological.
Maybe.
Or like just it leans on a different part of the system. There has to be some kind of an analog for that.
Okay.
You know, like I don't know, like submarines or something.
I don't know.
Like I'm trying to think of things that do things in different places, like for different reasons. You know, submersibles. Maybe the way that airlocks work to insulate from outer space to the interior of the ship. You know.
Maybe I honestly don't know.
Obviously it's some kind of crazy advanced alien technology that us mere humans we haven't reached that point yet, Eric.
No.
So to us it looks like magic.
Yes.
and inconsistent universe
Inconsistent
building.
writing.
But they obviously have something in place, and it does function within rules.
Oh yeah.
You know, so like if Sith lightning, if electricity, if electrical torture, it works on the robot but doesn't work. Well, it should work on the.
It should work out.
But obviously it has something to do with.
Well, EMP, an electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah, that wouldn't do anything to us,
wouldn't
but
do
it would
anything to
wreck
us,
our
yeah.
watches.
It would.
Yeah. So there you go.
I don't have a watch, though.
Okay, so maybe it's that. It's some kind of an EMP thing. Well, but not to shut down, but only to torture.
Yes. So anyway.
It's like beanbag bullets. Those things hurt. Those things hurt.
Have you been shot by a beanbag?
No, but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about it. So Razor's getting tortured. She collapses into beast mode and lays on the floor. And then, no longer being tortured, but unconscious or something like it.
Yeah, and then we cut to Megatron joining up to the party.
Not yet. Well, we see Rat Trap the laser doesn't work.
Yeah, we already
can't
covered
cut
that.
it with electro. Really?
Yeah.
Well, fine.
Well, I already talked about it.
Oh, okay.
I talked about it.
Okay.
Unless I think I'd talk about it, and we didn't talk about it.
We'll catch it on the replay. So, and then now
Rat Trap tries to cut it with a laser. It doesn't work.
And then, holy Swiss cheese, it's a Megatron.
God. And he's like, oh, well, we still have a ceasefire.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're here to help.
Yeah, we're here to quote unquote air quotes help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
well, he does help though. He says, "Well, may I propose a biological attack?"
I love this because Prime's like biological, hey, and then it's like
all of a sudden he's Solid Snake.
No, well, like I don't really know how to do Prime
biological, huh? When he shows up, you're like, took you long enough.
Took you long enough. But when it's like biological method, like Prime's eyes lit up. I'm like, oh god, the monkey's gonna throw poop, isn't it? Oh, it's a biological attack.
That would be messed up if it worked.
Yeah.
The walls recoiled. It's like, ew.
No. Get away.
Oh, man.
But then we have Scorponok. Scorponok. Scorponok goes and fires a poison sting, I guess.
Yeah, some kind of a biological weapon that he's been working on, and he shoots that at the thing, and it works.
Yeah, it works. It peels back a bit, and then Rat Trap crawls.
Which is interesting.
Prime.
Just as a matter of point, like it seems like the structure itself must be organic.
It has to be,
especially if poison's going to work on it.
If it reacts to that.
Yeah, I mean, well, and this strange alien species, which man, it's hard not to refer to them by name. The aliens had not they seeded this planet with life. They seeded the planet with life. They are conducting some sort of experiment. We'll learn about this in a minute. But anyway, it ties into what we're about to learn.
Okay.
But it's just interesting that poison works on a wall.
I'll have to try that sometime.
Works in Magic the
Man,
Gathering.
the door's locked.
Yep. But and Optimus wants to go in first because Air Razor's in there. There's a Maximal in there. We were here first. Thank you for opening the door. But me and Rat Trap are going in first. Rat Trap doesn't like this plan.
Yeah, and of course he doesn't. They go inside, and then Megatron was like, oh, well, we'll wait out here. You know, they'll give him some extra targets or whatever so we could go and make our move. And then he makes this weird derogatory thing about Inferno. And he's like, well...
Oh, if Inferno's doing his job.
Yeah, if he's doing his job. But when has Inferno ever failed at his task? Like, Inferno has been, like, the only reliable...
He has been pretty good, yeah.
Like, sure,
he doesn't
his
necessarily
methods...
follow... Yeah, he doesn't follow orders sometimes. Yeah, he doesn't, like...
Inferno follows orders?
Well, he follows the Queen's orders, but he doesn't wait for signals.
He doesn't. He's like, okay, forget this. I'm not going to wait. I need to do this. I got stuff to do.
He's not a team player as well.
He's an ant. Yeah. He's work. Okay, why am I waiting? Why am I sitting?
He's an ant, though.
Well, he is a team player, but it's like, okay, why are we waiting?
Yeah.
I could be done with this already and doing something else.
Yeah, he wants to be the line leader in the hive mind.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, so like he's like, if he hasn't failed yet, and then we cut to the Axalon real quick.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No, not yet. Not yet. We go right inside with Optimus Prime and Rat Trap, and it's spooky. It's spooky in there. They're not hearing anything. They're like, hello. Who's in here? And then they find Air Razor, who is down, and then they and Optimus tells Rat Trap to get Air Razor out of here.
Yeah.
He says, get her out of there, and Optimus is being obstinate and saying, I'm gonna stay. and I'm going to talk to the landlords, and I'm going to smooth this whole thing over.
So we could get our so we can get our
deposit back. Otherwise, we're never going to get home. I'm going to have to get a second job. Working at the Starbucks. The Starbucks in the Darksyde. Needs a barista.
And then we're going to have to pick up even more roommates. It's already crowded. I don't know how we're going to be able to split this cable bill.
So to which immediately, speaking of cables, they shoot out of the walls and grab Optimus Hellraiser style.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I have written down here Evil Dead Vine scene.
Oh, man. Okay, yeah.
They wrap around all 4 of his limbs.
I'm going to have to change the rating of this podcast. This is a PG.
Well, we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to say, it's the
yeah.
Evil Dead Vine scene.
Yeah,
we got the evil forest, grabbing him.
I have no idea why anybody under 13 should be listening to this show anyway. Who knows Beast Wars? You're watching Robots in Disguise right now. Maybe you're watching Prime with your parents' supervision.
But yeah, so we have the Evil Dead Vine scene, and then a grid pattern comes up.
Yeah, a green L.
Yeah,
big green paper thin L block from Tetris.
And it basically scans him. It goes through him. It starts
to scan him, and it's going through his head, and he's shooting green light out of his mouth and his eyes.
He looks like a green version of the creatures in All World's End.
Don't know it.
You don't know it? Oh, that's good.
Okay.
You should watch it.
We'll put it in the shows.
It's the 3rd movie in the Coronata trilogy.
Okay.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
Oh, okay.
And World's End.
Oh, I didn't know those were connected.
Yeah.
Yes. Hot Fuzz is on Netflix right now. I will have to continue my exploration of those films. All right. So now we're at the shields up. The shields are up at the Axalon.
Yeah, and then we're like, oh, okay. All right. I keep on wanting to saying Arachnos, which is the...
You haven't had that problem
Doctor
in like 15 episodes.
I know! Damn it, Dale, I'm trying! Yeah, we have Tarantulas over there. Okay, so you said you could get in, so show me.
Yeah, and Black Arachnia is like, well, you're not the only inventor. I fancy myself as an Edisonette. and she has this, what is it? It looks like a top.
It looks like
a big rivet.
It looks like
a mushroom.
It looks like a Looney Tunes outboard motor.
Okay.
Like on a boat.
Yeah.
Where you have a tiny shaft underneath it, and then you have a really flat, wide. It looks like the
Space Needle in Seattle.
Yeah, kind of.
And then she uses that to cut a hole or project a hole.
It projects something on the shield, and it opens up a hole in the area of the projection. I guess it's a neutralization.
Maybe, yeah.
And then they start going in. So they go in, and then Inferno shows up. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go up through the roof." All right, okay, sounds good. And then Inferno's like, "Oh, the royalty was right. I'm gonna tell the princess about this."
So he's got to get in, but he can't get in through the hole, right?
Well,
the hole closed down.
Yeah, the hole closes right before he gets there.
Yeah, so then instead of him, I thought maybe this was him screwing up and failing already. But instead he starts dicking.
Yeah, which, I don't know. I mean, sure, yeah, he's an ant and that's what they do. But at the same time, it's like, it's a energy field. Would energy fields stop at the ground level?
Or does it, I don't know, it depends on how it projects.
And that would be a pretty kind of shoddy...
Bad design. Yeah. If Inferno gets in there, then and something bad happens to anybody, it's Rhinox's fault.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He could only flip so many tables, Dale.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like, that's...
He better flip that table into a shield that guards the bottom of the ship. But we'll see where that goes in the next episode. We're not going to find out what happens with that. Yeah. Because we go back to Airazor and Rat Trap. Rat Trap's trying to get to the poison hole in the side of the giant nutty alien bungalow, and it's starting to close.
Yeah. And he pulls her out. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, gosh, oh, thank God. And then...
and Megatron is already drawn on him. He's already got dinosaur face gun pointed at Rat Trap.
Let me guess, truce is over.
Yes.
But while that is going on, like before that happens, there was a cut out to the outside of the mushroom, and Megatron hears Prime scream.
Oh, Primal screaming, yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I wish I could have a recording of this to
Yeah,
lull me to sleep."
If they made that today, it would be, I'm going to make that my ringtone. They actually made that joke in one of the recent comic books.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Somebody, like, it was an Autobot had a recording of, I think it was Jazz. It was either Jazz or Rodimus making a distress call, and it's legit his ringtone now.
Nice. That's kind of lame.
It's funny. The way that they executed in the book is funny.
So after that, though, it was just kind of briefly outside. Okay, truce is over. Mm-hmm. Crap.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It cut back on the inside where Primal...
The scan finishes.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, we hear voices.
And they're in English.
Scan completed. This is the specimen we analyzed before.
And then, like, he's like, "Oh, who is this? Who are you? Like, we want to speak to you, like, about this planet and all this other stuff." And then all of a sudden, a shadowy figure kind of... Well, it's not shadowy at all. It's kind of a bright light appears above him.
The opposite of a small shadowy figure in the distance appears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very large, bright thing outlined.
Dude, it's Unicron! I lost my mind the first time I saw this.
Oh gosh! Well, it was funny because it's like I'm like sitting here and I'm like, okay, who's that? What's that? And like Dale's sitting here and he's just like quiet, just like pointing at the screen.
Yeah, it was like Evil Monkey,
like Evil
from
Monkey.
Family Guy.
Yeah. I'm like, what? And Primal's like, Unicron. Mm-hmm. He's like, no, we pulled this image out of your memory banks.
Yeah, we don't have physical forms.
Yeah, we just found this little thing.
Yeah,
So
this just speaks to the malevolence.
But still, at the same. Has Primal ever seen Unicron?
Primal knows what Unicron is, man. That's like, that's the twin of Primus.
The twin of Primus?
Yes, Primus and Unicron are twins.
Okay.
And they created Cybertron.
Do they have like a mirror to the seas of cheese or pork soda?
No. My name is Mud. But
Unicron came out with a single called "My Name Is Jeff."
Yeah, but Unicron is like the greatest evil that the universe has ever
See,
known.
like I did not. I know. I mean, I have seen.
He eats planets.
I've seen the
He was the crux of the Great War.
I've seen very very little of G1. Mm-hmm. I had the Laserdisc for a while of the movie. We watched that, so I know of Unicron.
That's honestly where he shows up for the first time.
Okay, well, yeah. I don't know anything else other than what was in that movie. I did not know that there was a twin named Primus.
That comes up.
Find that was funny.
Yeah.
I would have found that funny. But what I did have to say about Unicron here is that like the textures and like the way that they have his face and like it looks really cool. Like they did a lot of cool things with him.
Yeah, they made it like a 3D rendering of the animated Unicron for the movie.
But like even that like the mosaic patterning on his face and the different areas, like it was just really cool, like really heavily detailed and nice. I enjoyed that.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Man,
so
that was cool.
Primal's like, "Wait, what are you doing?" Like, and he's like, "Oh well, you ruined this. You ruined everything."
Yeah.
Why'd you have to even come here?
Yeah, I know. It really is like you get the vibe that like I was in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And you did anything.
Yeah, and Primal's like...
I mean, granted, they're having a war on their science experiment planet.
Yeah. And Primal's like, listen, we could fix this. We can make this right. And Unicron's like, no. Your very existence being here has slighted the results, has ruined this. So we need to start over. So, and he's like, no.
Sterilize the experiment.
Yeah. And Primal's like, no, don't do it. And then... what did he say? Unicron said something. No one.
That which does not become part of the one shall become void.
And it kind of reminded me, like, this whole thing, like, you did this, it's your fault, like, you ruined this and all this other stuff. Reminded me of, like, Lovecraft. There's a section in the Hunter of the Darkness, or Hunter in the Dark. Yeah. Where it says, I'm gonna summon my Andrew Lehman here. Better be it left alone for the years to topple, lest things be stirred that ought to rest forever in their black abyss.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's like, okay, well, if you guys didn't mess with that Stonehenge that sent the first signal, maybe you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys didn't mess with the corn nut, maybe you guys...
Maybe if you guys just had your war and
Yeah.
stopped trying to investigate things. If
Yeah.
you did less sciencing and more fighting...
You know, it just goes to show, like, I mean,
these
it's
aliens
true
are
in
malevolent
Lovecraft.
as all get out anyway, man.
It's true in Lovecraft as it is here in Beast Wars. If something strange happens, don't investigate it.
Yeah, seriously, it really is. Yeah. The pursuit of more knowledge is the downfall of your whole mission.
Here, there's this weird disc with all these figures on it. Maybe I should leave it alone.
Yeah.
Hey, there's this weird figure with this octopus-headed thing with these claws in a hunched position with wings.
Yeah, better leave it. Well, that was weird. Moving on.
Yeah.
I gotta get milk.
Anyway, Dale and I are both really big fans of Lovecraft, and one of our absolute favorite podcasts is the HP Literary Podcast.
Yeah, HP Lovecraft Literary Podcast at hppodcraft.com.
There's a screen. Be warned. But yeah, go check him out. It's really great. And yeah. Anyway, back to
It'll be in the shows.
Schultz. But yeah, so Unicron then goes to. He's like, no,
and
we're
he
not going to
says-
talk about this.
Yeah, we're not. I'm done talking to you. Initialize.
Begin termination sequence.
So he starts the process.
Yeah, and then the
And Primal breaks out.
well,
He's
Primal.
Like, this is, well, he
Primal
starts breaking his chains.
Starts breaking his chains.
And then we cut to outside.
Cut to outside. He busts out, like just forcing his way through, I guess. And then he goes and he starts telling the people, "Hey, we got to get out of here." And they're like, "Why? What's going on?" And it's like, "This thing's gonna destroy everything." So we're like, "Oh no!" And then the zit pops.
Yeah. Well, before that, there's a small fight. There's a skirmish
Is there?
because Megatron's Megatron's already drawn on Rat Trap.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know how Rat Trap gets out of his sights, but he grabs Scorponok's arm
Yeah.
and forces his claw open.
And it's like, is that
And that's
really how
apparently
the
the trigger,
The
yeah.
trigger is you open it up and you close it and you open it
Hey,
again.
some of their technology is really good. Some of it's kind of.
I mean, granted,
basic.
every time that he has fired a missile, he's
Yeah.
done that.
But you can't fire it while the claw is closed. It would explode inside the claw. So it's,
yeah.
obviously it's part of the mechanism.
Yeah, he shoots it, and then Air Razor goes and takes out Scorponok, and then
No.
Rat Trap.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Rat Trap goes and shoots Pterosaur, who
Pterosaur,
this is
yeah.
the first time that we've seen him all
Yeah,
episode.
he just happened to be there. Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm here. Pow! I'm dead. All hail Rat Trap. But he takes care of that, and then it was like, hey, we got to get out of here. And then they're like, why? And it's like, oh, this thing's gonna blow. And then, like I said, the mushroom like turns into a big zit.
Yeah.
It pops,
It pops a giant laser into space.
which hits the fake moon.
Yeah, the hollow moon.
Which gets covered in the Genesis effect from
From
Star Wars 2.
from Star Trek. Yeah.
Star Trek 2.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh God, I feel so lame now. I said Star Wars when I meant Star Trek.
It's okay. I'm excited about
I'm more of
episode
a
7.
I'm more of a Star Trek fan than Star
I know
Wars.
you are.
I can't live this down. This needs to be edited out. Oh God. But yeah, so we have the Genesis effect that goes and cascades over the moon to reveal like all these like different little spines on it and
Yeah.
this weird pattern.
Yeah, it's transforming into a Death Star.
I guess. And then someone says, "That's no moon." Oh, and then
So that starts doing that, but when that does that, all the stasis pods are starting to drop out of orbit.
yeah, they get I don't know, like electrocuted or something like that.
They
There's
don't
some
get
like
hit by
energy.
anything. It didn't seem like they got hit by anything.
No,
They
but
just
there's
started-
some energy field going on that's like causing them to short
Yeah,
or something. They start,
disrupting the
yeah,
things.
their orbits decay, and then all of a sudden they start falling in.
Yeah, they start falling. Rhinox is panicking.
He's like, "Oh no, no, no!" And he's talking to the computer. He's like, "Hey, can you tell me where all these are going?" And they're like, "No." Could you tell me when they're going to be getting here? Nope.
Yeah, but look behind you. The computer's like busy, scared. Because is it Black Arachnia that's behind him, or is it
Yeah,
Tarantulas?
Black Arachnia kind of
is-
like does Sam Fisher all about it.
Yeah. she
upside
split herself,
down. Yeah,
both of them are hanging from the ceiling.
Well,
Both
yeah.
of the spiders are hanging from the ceiling, and Rhinox gets it.
Yeah, he goes to grab his gun, but doesn't draw fast enough.
He has like a minor spray, and then he just gets it in the face.
Yeah, he
and he's
bits
done.
it, and then Dino Bags comes out.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's going on,
Intruders!"
and then he just gets immediately like shot down, and that's
the episode. Yeah. And then next time on Beast Wars, and we
God.
didn't watch that.
No,
because Eric doesn't want to know.
No, I just want to watch it. Can we watch it? No, we want.
No, we gotta wait till next week, Eric. We're gonna wait until next week. Until then, I've been Dale.
I've been Eric.
And this is the Transformers Beast Wars.
No, okay, no. All right, no, we're not gonna. No.
What you
No,
want? You want?
no,
Okay,
no.
okay. All right. Do you want to do a double long episode?
We're gonna do that. You guys
We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop, and we're gonna watch
All
part
right, guys.
2 and come right back.
Sit tight. Sit tight. We're gonna watch this because we got to wrap this up. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do both episodes. So sorry for the long episode, but it's gonna happen. So yeah.
Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse.
So Eric is just stomping around the recording studio right now. We just finished watching Other Voices Part 2. I don't know how he feels about this. We're gonna find out. Throwing stuff all over the place and muttering to himself.
Chair. Grabbing a chair. I'm done. I'm done. If there's one thing that I absolutely hate.
What, a cliffhanger? You don't want to wait all summer long until the first episode of next season? You can't wait till the next...
This is going to have to be a 3-parter episode. We're talking feature-length podcast.
Yeah, Eric likes answers.
Oh, God, yeah. This is
could you
ridiculous.
imagine what it was like as a kid seeing this on TV and having to wait?
No,
to wait for the next season.
No, because I binge watch everything. Like, I mean, I watch Doctor Who. I do.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched really anything of this new season because I'm waiting for enough to get up, in there so I could just...
Oh, you just don't do it to yourself at all.
No.
Oh, I catch up. Every show that I watch, I get up to where it is now, and then I have to watch week to week.
No, I can't.
Okay. Eric just can't with this show.
I just can't.
Having said that, you want to know what happens next, and that's the beauty of the show.
All right, so this was episode 26, Other Voices.
Yep, Other Voices Part 2 or 3 of 4. Written by Larry DiTillio.
And directed by Ezekiel Norton.
This week, the aliens unleash a monstrous weapon, an artificial moon intending to destroy Earth and all Maximals and Predicons on it. Using a stasis pod equipped with transwarp cells, Optimus flies to the moon to destroy it, but Megatron deviously seals the pod shut, causing Optimus to be destroyed along with the moon. The aliens are called the Vok.
Has it really been bugging you that much?
Yeah, it bugs the heck out of me. I'm pretty sure they don't even say it in the show. I'm not sure.
They don't.
Yeah, they haven't said it. They haven't said it yet. And this was like the climax of them dealing with them. Well, maybe maybe they find out like some other time. But geez, man, they're called the Vok. So we open up with the
everyone hightailing it back to the Axalon base.
Yeah, the space laser is in space, turning into the Death Star is turning into an eyeball, which is turning into the focal point for a laser.
Well, I was going to say,
Cheetor and Tigatron see that. What were you going to say?
No. Tigatron and Cheetor see that, and Cheetor gives his best Sylvester impression.
Suffering circuits.
Oh, he does say that, didn't
opposed to suffering succotash.
Yeah.
But yeah, It's like and then Tigertron goes and waxes poetic about the end of the world.
Yeah, everybody does. Even at the end of the last episode, we didn't say it because Black Arachnia asked Tarantulas, "What is that?"
Yeah,
and he says it's the beginning of the end.
Of the beginning. Of the end of the beginning.
It's a Smashing Pumpkins tribute now.
It is.
So,
Oh.
yeah,
So-
and even Tigertron understands the significance of this.
Yeah, and then what I wanted to find out is why are the comms all of a sudden up? Because that ray happened, and Rhinox was trying to contact everyone, and the male sexy computer said comms are down, no communications. So how are they communicating?
Maybe, well, they're communicating to each other outside of the Axalon.
Okay.
Because he's not talking to Rhinox. Couldn't get a hold of Rhinox. Rhinox was already down and out.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's down. But, I mean, as far as, like, communicating with... I was under the impression that communications itself were down because of the interruption with the interference of the whatchamacallit, energy beam.
Well, that's predicated on the...
I know that's
on,
very, like, not, like...
If
don't
I got
breathe on the microphone. But
yeah, well, that has to do with... well, no worries.
it's exasperation.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But what if? But the thing is that, like, how do the Maximals talk to each other by comm outside of the Axalon? I mean, they'd be calling, if it's like crazy satellite games where Optimus has to send his signal back to the Axalon, which sends it to Cheetor.
I don't know.
Oh
I
man, the
honestly don't
3G
know.
coverage, the network coverage on that is terrible.
So, like, Optimus contacts Cheetor and Tigatron. They're like, Codex.
Yep, get back to base. We got a situation here, and we've got to figure out what we're gonna do.
And Rat Trap chimes in with his with his
I've been
signature.
saying it all along.
We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die.
Well, the thing that I found funny here is that, well, the moon disappears, or it looks like it disappears, because it transformed. And I have written down here, good night, moon. The moon opens up, and you said it looks like an eye. I'm like, oh, well, it kind of looks like the Halo ring.
Oh, I guess it
And then
does, yeah.
it looks like the Halo ring with what looks like a broccoli steamer tray in the middle.
Delicious.
And then Megatron goes and starts waxing poetic about 0 hour plan.
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to-
That's his command to the computer.
But
Because Pterosaur is scared. He's like, the moon's gone, the sky is falling. What are we gonna do? And the Waspinator.
Oh, God.
Says,
Waspinator not want to be destroyed. Waspinator has plans.
I know I can't die.
I don't want to die.
Waspinator
I don't
has
want to be
plans.
destroyed. Plans. Poor Waspinator.
Waspinator has plans. That's the best line of the whole episode.
We while Megatron was going and executing his 0 hour plan or whatever, he
Well, this
scans
is all-
for transwarp signatures. And it goes back into the Axalon. Sexy computer recaps that Dinobot and Rhinox are offline, and Tarantulas and Black Arachnia are online and active. And then a third one showed up. And it was
Inferno is
Inferno. It was
closing.
active. He was closing. And then it kind of goes back and forth where I guess Tarantulas was like, oh, yes, I'm going to get this done. Yay, almost done.
Yeah.
And then Black Arachnia is like, well, how am I going to fit in there?
Yeah, why'd you go with the smaller stasis pods?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tight for the two of us.
Of course, it could be kind of romantic.
Get away from me, woman. I'm working.
Tarantulas has no time for Black Arachnia, and neither does Inferno, apparently.
He actually says it. He's like, I don't have time for this type of talk right now.
Yeah, well, he literally doesn't. I mean, the planet's going to explode.
Yeah, so
before this, when everybody on the dark side is scared about the world ending, Scorponok says Megatron will save us, and Megatron says no, I won't.
I've reserved that task for Tarantulas.
I see. I didn't catch that. I totally missed that.
Yeah. He says I'm not going to save you. I'm going to have Tarantulas save you. Oh, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And then
What another thing that I found funny about that is while he's going through all these things and saying all these things, Megatron keeps on turning the camera, and then it zooms in on him, and then he turns his head to another camera, and then that one zooms in on him, and then he turns to a third
it's like the
camera.
Colbert Report.
Like a really bad one. Like I know they're zooming in for emphasis and everything, but it's just like, oh, come on, really?
Hello, nation.
Over here. Ooh. But yeah. So Inferno gets a drop on
Yeah,
him.
he gets a drop on Black Arachnia.
Takes her out. Basically starts fighting with Tarantulas.
Who turns around and shoots him with his extremely slow-moving projectile.
Yeah.
It's the grappling hook that comes with the toy. And that's my favorite thing about it, when the toy has the same weapons that they use in the show. And then when you shoot the toy from the toy projectile from the toy, it looks exactly like the show. It doesn't move very fast, doesn't go very far.
But like
Inferno has plenty of time to catch it.
But we've seen this weapon like lay waste to people. We've seen this weapon used before.
It's
Black
been used as
Arachnia
a
has the
grappling
same
hook,
one
and
to deliver her
made
poison
from the
stuff.
same mold. Yeah. They saved money by just changing the colors.
Oh, they do. But yeah, and then he just catches it.
yeah, Inferno straight up catches it because he's a bad dude.
And then he throws it down, and he's like, "Oh, this is nothing." And then he opens up with his leg guns, his leg machine guns.
Yeah, then he does a Rage Against the Machine cover. Burn! Yes, you're gonna burn.
But like, what I think is really awesome here is just like, okay, man, dude, he's a tank.
Yes.
Like he's getting shot up.
Yeah.
He just
The
doesn't
leg,
care.
the
It's
leg
like,
machine
yeah.
guns start going off, and he don't care.
No, he's just like not even phased by it. He's like, listen, I'm gonna put my thing down right here, and then I'm gonna politely beat your butt. Which he does. Like he ended up, he goes like, okay, you know what? I don't have time for this, and then he uses his flamethrower to
light him on fire, and then Tarantulas runs out. And he's burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, he's burnt to a crisp. But what I noted here is like real fire. New
real fire.
Yeah, new real fire.
They pulled every like live action overlay that they could find and put it into this episode, I think.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Megatron sees Tarantulas' signal go offline.
Yeah, and then he's mad.
Not happy with.
And that's
what
where I was
Inferno
confused because I have here on my notes like, wait, Megatron wanted Tarantulas to be alive?
Yeah.
Like, because I totally, I'm like, how is that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
What is happening here, Dale? What is happening?
Awesome. It's happening. And that's the only thing we see. It's just Megatron is cut in saying, "No, Inferno, what have you done?"
Oh,
and then we go.
Can't you do anything right?
Yeah. Well, he did it too well. He did his job too well.
Quite literally.
Mm-hmm. The cost-benefit analysis is just off the charts. And the Maximals get home and they discover that that Rhinox and Dinobot are stuck to the ceiling by spider webs from The Web, episode number 3. and then Black
in the web.
This is a very musical episode. And then Black Arachnia and Inferno are going at it, but she's too fast for them.
She is, and basically when they find out that they're inside the base or whatever, or that they're tied up, Primal was like, "Hey, Rat Trap, Air Razor, go check the rest of the base. Tigatron, you get these guys cut down, get in the rejuve chamber, get them to juve a bit. We got to make sure that everything is secure."
Yeah.
During the fight, though, like they must have. The Matrix probably just came out or something. It had to have, because there were a lot of Matrix-esque type fighting
sequences. This was 1999. This was 99. So a little bit of wire fu influence.
Well, that, and they were showing like actions like 2 times in a row. I'm like, what? You're not going to show it a 3rd time?
Yeah, they did that a little bit last episode too.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then
not as bad as like the 16 times that Rhinox gets blown up and the when the Stonehenge explodes.
Yeah. But yeah, so they were fighting back and forth. There was a couple good. It was a good sequence.
Yeah,
and then at the end of it, Black Arachnia actually gets Inferno's gun. Sorry.
Yeah.
And we just see how huge that thing is.
Yeah, it's big. It's big, man.
Like,
He's a big fire ant. He's a big, imposing dude.
Well, if she put the thing barrel down up against the ground, the hilt of that gun or the actual grip of the gun would probably come up to her rib cage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how huge it is.
It's big.
And she's holding this thing out at the end of her tiny, dainty little hand. It looks silly.
Yeah.
But she has it pointing directly at his head. There's a camera shot down the barrel of it, and then she just pulls the trigger and just basically waxes him.
Yep. Yeah. He gets it right in the face, and then she runs to go find Tarantulas,
who is all burnt to a crisp,
non-functional.
And she's like, "Okay, well, all right, I'll just take this then. But how am I gonna get to the thing?
Yeah, she's like, yeah, not even poor
you?
Tarantulas, but poor me.
Yeah, what am I gonna do now? She's like, I know, I'll go grab your data stuff. So she puts on the VR goggles, and then she plugs into his head.
brain. Yeah.
And then we have In the Mind of Tarantulas.
Yeah, it's his science lab again. We're in his lab. And she's going in there to take his brain, but his brain is not going to go quietly.
No, they're all mad because like she walks in and there's all these like piles of Spider-Bot monthly thing.
Playbot.
Playbot. But yeah, like all of a sudden she gets accosted by floating heads of tarantulas, and then it cuts.
And they're all laughing.
Yeah, so it's like, what is going on?
And then she starts screaming.
Yeah, she knocks off the she knocks the goggles off and screams. After Primal sends them down, Rat Trap starts complaining. He's like, "Oh man, I don't want to do this." Yeah,
but this is what, and then Optimus is going to make it hard.
Yeah, and then
because he wants
them alive.
He wants live captives, and he's not going to let Sentinel do any of the work.
No,
because they need
to spare the energy.
They need the energy for the shields because they got to have the shields on full blast.
Yeah,
the whole Earth is in a microwave now.
Well, I have issues with that. Yeah, this beam is there, and yeah, I could think of it as a microwave, whatever. They use the term like outside radiation or outside temperature, they say, is at X amount of rads. And rads is a unit of measure used for radiation.
Yeah, radiation, yeah.
Like, okay, but that's not what's the temperature? Outside temperature is blah, blah, rads. Okay, well, what's the temperature? Oh, it's rads. No, what's the temperature? They were doing so well.
Okay.
They were getting everything the way that they were supposed to before using the correct things, and then they just throw it away like this. I don't understand.
Sorry about science, Eric.
It hurts.
I hope that the whispers can't pick up as well as everything else does. I'll have to crank the compressor to get all those. But well, yeah, but either way, but that does make enough sense for them to use rads, like, because like the thing is, it's radiative heat, which is going to ignite the energon.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they're going to ignite the energon, and that's how I guess this ray works. Then
that's how the planet's set up. Apparently, the reason why they have all this raw, unstable energon everywhere is so that the planet explodes.
Then what was the experiment?
We don't know. Hey, I don't presume to know the mind of the Vok. They don't even have a physical form.
The aliens, you mean?
Yeah,
the aliens.
These strange aliens on this
unnamed aliens, Dale. They are unnamed.
World. Yeah, these hitherto unnamed aliens. But they're going to ignite all this energon. So I mean, it's not like this energon was like put there, or
one of the things that I don't understand though, like, is Megatron is like basically praising them.
Oh, well, he loves their cruelty.
Oh, he loves the cruelty and everything. It's like, oh, we're gonna die. This is great.
Yeah, Armageddon is happening outside, and he's like,
what sheer ruthlessness! What disregard for sentient life! I rather like these aliens.
Yeah, he's into it, but he's also not worried because he does have a plan. He doesn't want to die, but he could admire the work of his enemy. Yeah. Even when Optimus was a berserk warrior for an episode, he was into that too. He's into cruelty. He's into things that Predicons are into.
He frequently visits Bondage A Go-Go over at the Exit on Thursdays here in Chicago.
But yeah, that's what he does, and but nobody else is into it though, and that's why Pterosaur couldn't Starscream. Pterosaur can't Starscream because he cannot appreciate what's going on.
Yeah, he doesn't have it in him to be able to do that type of thing.
Yeah, him and Waspinator don't like it. Megatron is rather excited about it, and then
after Megatron professes his love to these unnamed aliens on this mysterious primitive planet.
Yep.
We cut back to the Axalon, where all of a sudden
the Maximal shields are up. Megatron's not happy about that.
No, he's not. Yeah. And well, basically, we cut to Black Arachnia, who just finished programming everything. She's like, "Great, it's done. I did it."
No, she says, "We did it." I mean, I did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was a slip of the tongue.
That's a slip of the tongue from foreshadowing.
Yeah. And then we have, as soon as she does that, there's 2 guns pointed at her head. And
Airazor and Rat Trap have succeeded a lot easier than they thought Optimus Primal was making it for them.
Yeah.
Rather anticlimactic from the setup.
And then she kind of chimes in.
Did you know we have a truce?
It's like, no, we don't.
Yeah, no,
we don't.
You missed out. Shots have been fired. We're done here.
Yes.
The world is falling apart outside, and we cut back to the Maximal to Optimus Primal inside, who's talking about there being no time.
Yeah, he's like, I can't believe this. And they're finding out, we have, I guess, the equivalent of 30 minutes or something like that.
I want to say
30 cycles.
I want to say that it's that a cycle is maybe 3 minutes, 3 to 7 minutes. I think was something that I read somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they have 30 something odd cycles.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we could do this, and
they got
computer,
some time, but no time.
Yeah.
Rhinox isn't going to be better.
But like, even though that they have no time, Rat Trap would rather play the pro down game or the mystery game of you got to come down here and see this.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just tell me on the comms?
Yeah.
So we don't waste the time of walking down there and explain.
Let's talk and walk. Let's talk and walk and come up with a plan. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like they see.
I think it would have been great if they just did filmed the walk from the bridge to the stasis chamber.
I mean they.
But
referencing right here, referencing Star Trek 2 again. Mm-hmm. They did do that. Like, they did a walk and talk, opposed to, like, hey, you got to come over here so we could talk about this. They got back onto the ship. They're running around. And he's like, okay, well, I thought you said we had hours instead of days. Now we have minutes instead of hours. Mm-hmm. And they're talking and having all this exposition while they're running and showing them running through the corridors to show tension. the tension of it. Versus, like, you need to come down here, and then hard cut, and then, oh, look, it's a pod. Yeah. But basically what they come up with is that, Optimus is saying, hey, we could use this.
Yeah.
We'll fly it up there. It works. We'll fly it in there. We'll blow it up. Everything's great.
Yep. Black Arachnia says it's only programmed for me.
Yeah. And he's like, you're going to program it for me. And then she's like,
you and what? How you going to make me?
Yeah.
Make me. You and what army? Oh.
Oh. But yeah, so basically she's like programming, and everyone's like, well, what are you going to do? He's like, well, I'm going to I'm going to fly this into this thing, blow it up, and then...
with a transwarp explosion.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, you're going to die, don't do it.
Yeah, he's basically going to go up and cause a transwarp
sacrifice
explosion.
Himself.
I have to X-Wing the Death Star. He's not talking like he's going to sacrifice himself, though. He says, I don't want to die either.
Well, yeah, but, everyone else starts chiming in, and like, you have...
Cheetor was like, let me do it, Big Bot.
And then, then Tigatron's like, no, let me do it.
I owe this planet so much.
So then Primal...
And then Airazor
no. Primal's like, no, I need to do this because a flyer needs to do it. Because a flyer has the best chance of getting back.
Away.
Yeah, and surviving this. And then Airazor chimes in and says...
well, that's the reason why I should be the one to do it. She does fly very, very fast.
She does. Out of everyone, she probably flies the fastest. So it would make sense. But Primal doesn't even acknowledge her saying that.
He looks over at Rat Trap.
So Rat Trap, do you want to...
Suicide ain't in my job description.
She just doesn't even like... Uh-huh. Yeah. So Rat Trap... Let me do it, Prime. I could do this better and faster than you, and I could do this, and I'm not worth anything here anyway. I always mess things up. It'd be better off, even if I do fail and die. You guys would be better off without me. This is not me expressing my opinion of Airazor, but this is like the inner monologue that I envision Airazor having. So it's just, I don't know. It's just really.
Oh, poor Airazor. Poor Airazor. Well, she's always trying.
Yeah.
When nobody else thinks that she can do it, she can definitely do it. When anybody thinks she can do it, that's where we have problems.
Yeah. All right. Well, in any case, Prime turns down everyone. Mm-hmm. He gets in there. He starts going up. And this is kind of, I don't know, like They finish reprogramming. I have very sparse notes, and they're all sporadic, and they're very difficult for even me to read because of the ending of this episode.
Outside the Axalon is the spindly. The ground is cracking open and moving all over the place and melting. The Axalon's spindly spider legs that were holding it up from the Superman episode. Man, the continuity, it's fantastic. And then those are breaking, and they're getting ready to launch Optimus up into space.
Yeah, and while they're doing that, Black Arachnia finishes programming the module basically, And on the console, there's a little like, I guess display, and it like I have Kit, like from Knight Rider.
Oh, really?
There's like the 3. Whenever Kit talked, he had that 3 like digital valence meters that would pop up when he talked. It was up there in the corner. I was like, hey.
Oh, cute.
I don't know if that was that, but that's what I popped in. When he got in there, Rat Trap was like, hey, if you don't make it, can I get your quarters?
Yeah.
I didn't take Optimus Primal for a coin collector though. Sorry guys. But yeah, so he starts heading up. They all start saying these like wonderful things about like, hey, goodbyes. And then oddly enough, Bumblebee doesn't say anything to Big Bot. Just stays quiet.
Yeah,
he bites his lip.
It's interesting because what happens is, Optimus goes faceplate up, which is one of my favorite things. Whenever he puts the faceplate up and looks like Optimus Prime, I was like, oh man, he's gonna prime himself. He's gonna go Optimus Prime himself. Oh man, he's gonna go Jesusing, and Megatron is seeing this. How is he seeing this? I think he's just seeing the outside monitoring of who's in the thing.
Yeah, who's in the thing and who's doing what.
He sees that Optimus is in the thing instead of Tarantulas and instead of Black Arachnia, and he's pretty okay with that. And then, and as Optimus is going up, Cheetor says, "I opened a phone line."
Yeah, and they're like, how?
Raynox taught me. I wish he was here.
Well, he explains, he's like, I opened up a hole in the shielding so we could get, communications and all this other stuff and be able to monitor him. And they're like, well, okay, Rhinox taught you how to do that. But it's like, if you have a hole in the shield.
It's a pinhole.
Yeah, but wouldn't the same amount of the radiation would come in through there?
Maybe shoot a hole through the hull. Maybe.
A hole through the hull?
Yeah. Of the ship.
Transmit?
Yeah.
I mean, the incoming radiation or incoming beam...
would just spread because it's radiation and not a laser?
Well, if you had... Sure, yeah, it would spread out from that focal point, but anything that was within or directly in the line of path between the colander, the space colander, and the antenna array... Like, because that's basically where it is. You put a hole there so you can communicate to the pod. It's going to come back and just fry that antenna array.
Yeah, the antenna should probably explode right now or melt.
And does this, stasis pod have shielding?
I don't know.
Because it's...
Obviously, it works. All I'm saying is it didn't... it did not work. Not that they even tested it.
No, they didn't. They didn't test it at all. And...
I was like, why did you even put that there? We needed 8 more seconds of show. But the pod's getting closer, and they're running out of time. He's getting very, very close, and then Optimus gets close enough to where he's like, okay, cool, let's blow this thing up. Start the sequence and get me out of here. And it says, no can do, big butt.
The computer says, basically, the door has been magnetically sealed.
Yeah. Yep, and then Megatron shows up.
Yeah.
So...
He's like, that's impossible.
Megatron using the Axalon's phone line?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened. Did Cheetor provide Megatron with the vehicle with which to gloat? Is Cheetor
Megatron, I need to use the phone. I need to call the doctor.
No, I'm trying to download something. Back in the days of dial-up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how that all worked.
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, there is no escape from this pod.
Well, the only people that had contact with that pod were Tarantulas and Black Arachnia.
Yes.
Okay? And Tarantulas was individually motivated. Like, he did not care about Megatron. He didn't care about anything else. Even from way before. All he wanted to do was just get off the planet. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Black Arachnia. Black Arachnia was kind of right behind him. And even if, he ends up getting in her mind where we kind of see it hinted towards or whatever, why would he do that? And I don't understand how...
How did Megatron
orchestrate this
situation? You know what? Several episodes ago, Tarantulas had to dive in, use that same kind of headset umbilical cord stuff to dive into Megatron's personal files. I want to know, maybe if we want to retcon it, they didn't explain it. They did not. They didn't do a job of. they gave Megatron all the credit for saying, hey, this is how I knew it would work out. And some of it does make a lot of sense. Tarantulas is trying to make an escape, do an escape plan type of a thing. Megatron knows that Tarantulas is trying to escape. He knows also that Optimus Primal will do anything to save everybody. So, like, if anybody's going to human cannonball themselves into some sort of space...
But he did not.
laser.
He did not know that though. He was
knew
banking on the fact that
what?
it would be Tarantulas in there, and then he gets rid of Tarantulas, who is basically the next Starscream besides Starscream.
Well, he's really Shockwave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Wrong set of eyes and stuff, but also he's purple,
and
he's a scientist.
All right. So anyway. So while he's like telling Prime that, then all of a sudden it cuts back to Black Arachnia, whose eyes turn green, and then you have Tarantulas' voice coming out of her mouth. So it's like, okay, so now they're like one and the same. Is Tarantulas like not going to be in his body anymore?
Tarantulas' body is burnt to a crisp, and his brain ain't in there anymore. And Black Arachnia is talking like Tarantulas. And referring to herself as we.
I don't know. Anyway, the pod...
She had some space in her hard drive.
The pod goes and flies up. There's a whole bunch of real explosions.
Yeah. Megatron after Megatron is magnanimous in victory. All hail Megatron. Yeah.
The Beast Wars are over, Optimus. You lose.
Yeah. Every space explosion ever in the history of cinema is laid on top of the Space Needle.
Yeah, we have the real fire explosions.
Yeah, the real fire explosions. The ring, the
ring explosion from the Death Star.
Yeah,
the ring explosion from Kronos exploding in Star Trek VI, Undiscovered Country. Let's see what else.
The fire Sparky explosion from the 70s release of Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think for me,
they do show it twice.
They do.
Yeah.
For me, if they would have left out the real fire / real explosions on
would have
this,
been more dramatic.
And it would have been more awesome. Because the other effects that they use, like with the ring and all these other different spark effects and everything else, that's all like rendered in engine, so that they created that. I understand that they wanted to use maybe something else to kind of beef it up or like save some render time, but like what they did, it just didn't look good. Like if they just deleted the real stuff, they removed it and just left it at the rendered stuff that they had, it would have looked perfect.
Yeah, they could have quit while they were ahead. They had the real fire on Tarantulas when he was getting burned up.
Yeah,
but that wasn't nearly as bad.
Oh no, I don't know.
But that's what's up. We see pieces of Optimus Primal floating. There's like a frame of his face.
Yeah.
Flying past the camera.
I don't know. And you see the bits kind of like going on, and then goes over the primitive planet.
Yeah.
And then it just the end question mark.
Yep, the end with the question mark.
Yeah. Rage quit. I hate hangers like this. I absolutely hate hangers like this.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
I hate them.
I love it. It draws you in. It draws you in. You would have loved it if you have the next episode queued up.
All right, sit tight, guys. We're gonna go and watch the first season, the first episode, of the second season. We'll be right back.
I do have the discs, but I did bring season 2 and 3. But like I love it. I love it. The show grabs you. It brings you. It draws you in. You know, there are characters that you care about. You know, not even like, and it's not even like because the of the story and the narrative and the character type of thing where like you love a character in an adult show.
Yeah,
I think, you know, but like you love Waspinator. You have to love Waspinator.
I do like what.
Period. You know, you're a little annoyed by Cheetor. You know, Rhinox is Obi-Wan Rhinox.
Well, here, I was talking to Jacob the other day, our friend Jacob, up in British Columbia, and
BC.
Anyway, so yeah, write into us. Comment on our Facebook page. Comment in the comment section on our podcast, because we like talking to people. We like people. But anyway, we were talking, and he actually asked me, because, I mean, this is, like we've said can't talk.
Several
times before. I've never really seen this series. I've seen maybe like 2 scenes that I distinctly remember, but then other than that, I have no idea. So he asked me, he's like, so what's your favorite, Beast Wars character? And I'm like, I honestly don't know. And he's like, really? You don't have a favorite yet? And I'm like, I don't know. And that made me think, like, I was telling him, like, well, maybe I like, I seem to like the characters that I can pantomime or make voices of. So based upon that, I think I like Tarantulas, because like some of the things that he gets caught off guard and everything, and he's just, I don't know, he's animated,
you can flail
personality
your arms
animated, yeah. But like I also really like Waspinator because he's like a child. Like I mean, he's like us.
It's almost like he got sucked into being a Predacon.
He got duped into it. Like, oh man, I thought this was that's Rat Trap.
Yeah.
Like oh man, I thought that was going to be candy, and now I gotta do work.
Yeah. I came because you said there'd be pie.
I had plans. But, and he was like, oh, I really like Dinobot. And I'm like, okay, I could kind of get behind Dinobot,
Dinobot
But how about
awesome
you? Like,
character.
I mean, as far as like this first season, what would you say is your favorite character?
First season, Tigatron. He isn't just wholeheartedly in the war because we fight. We are robots that fight. It's so heroic to fight when you're a robot. Oh,
but he was.
Look at me
he
go.
totally was,
Look at me
though.
go.
He did have those thoughts, but he was totally.
But even at the beginning, like we had a few episodes, but he had an arc where he is framing his role in the war differently. Even at the beginning, he couldn't stay with the Maximals because he was more animal than robot, and then he took. But he took that relationship with even his animal companion for granted, lost her, and even when even before that, the floating island. Even with the floating island, he didn't want to destroy the actual physicality of the planet, and he's like, this is a test for us, not to destroy things, even though it's trying to destroy us. But he misunderstood that. But he had feelings for the physicality of the planet, of the atmosphere, of the environment.
Yeah,
and that mattered to him. So like the environment mattered to him, his living companion mattered to him, and he wanted out of the war. And even now that he's back into the war, he's not fighting it because of glory or anything like that. He's fighting it from a strict standpoint of preservation. As far as the rest of the Beast Wars go, Dinobot is the best character in the universe. Okay. Like season two is so good, and like Dinobot's entire arc is one of the most fantastic character arcs, and I love it.
And on that note, I guess we should
get ready for season 2. Let's watch season 2 right now. But while we're gone, until then, I've been Dale.
And I've been Eric.
And you've been listening to the Transformers Beast Wars podcast.
Which you can find at OptimusPrimecast.com.
I'll see you next season, everybody. High five.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.